Constitution of the United States of America guarantees every citizen in this country free speech. Tyrone Bowman live. Welcome to this program. On tonight, I'm going to talk about, I know you see the headline circulating around, but before I do want to take out a moment and say thank you to my subscribers. We're a relatively new channel, and you all have subscribed greatly. I appreciate every one of you very, very much, and I thank you all for sticking with me. Sometimes I know a brother can act crazy, but I do appreciate you all subscribing. And while I'm talking tonight, if individuals are coming on and you haven't subscribed, would you kindly subscribe to Tyrone Bowman Live? Now, let's get down to this segment. I want to talk about Elon Musk. According to NBC News, the headline reads, Elon Musk worries free speech advocates with calls to prosecute researchers and critics. First Amendment advocates are concerned that Musk would use his sway as a Trump advisor to retaliate against a long list of enemies. In July, tech billionaire Elon Musk said he hoped some states would consider criminal prosecutions of people participating in what he called an advertiser boycott of platforms like his social media app X. In October, Musk turned his attention to a former State Department official, Victoria Nuland, saying she should be prosecuted after she went on television and criticized him as a tool of the Kremlin. Well, let's talk about that. Over on his platform, X, formerly known as Twitter, he allows the racists and the bigots, the KKK, the Proud Boys, the white boys, and any other boys to come over there. And they can cuss, swear, blaspheme the name of the Most High God. They can say anything on his platform. They can have free speech on his platform, but nobody can criticize him. Then on Truth Social, they can come over there and say anything that they want to say, and no one's supposed to criticize them. Well, what does the Constitution, the First Amendment, have to say about it? Let's take a look at the First Amendment. I'm not dealing with the Articles of Incorporation. I'm dealing with the fact that we have power of free speech. I keep asking people, I keep telling them, get a copy of the Constitution, keep it with you wherever you go. The First Amendment of the Constitution says this. And the reason why it was put there, because it wasn't originally there. Now, I don't want to deal with the articles, I want to deal with the amendments. Give me a minute here, I'll pull it up. All right. The First Amendment to the Constitution says this. So the First Amendment, known as the Bill of Rights, was ratified effective December 15th, 1791. So we have rights in this country. People are always talking about they're violating our rights, they're violating our rights, they're violating our rights. We have rights. And what does it say? Amendment 1, freedom of religion, speech and the press, rights of assembly and petition. Quote, Congress shall make no law representing an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or of the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Number 1, there cannot be a mandatory state religion in this nation because the Constitution says it should not be. If you want to start a war, just sit down and start talking about religion among your friends. A war will start. Number 2, we have free exercise to speak, to write, and to publish what we desire to do. So the dictatorial right is starting here in America because what's happening is, slowly but surely, they're trying to take away our constitutional rights. Just because he's a tech billionaire, that doesn't give him the right to tell us that we can't say and do what we want to do, but him and all his allies and all his billionaire friends, they can say and do whatever they want to do because they're wealthy, because they got plenty of money, because they have investments, stocks, land, houses, boats, spaceships, aircrafts, because they can do things that ordinary people can't do? No. You have to do the same things we do on a daily basis. You have to eat, sleep, and take care of personal things. And then last week, Musk revived a long running feud with a group that monitors hatred online, the Center for Countering Digital Hate, saying that its members should be prosecuted for their many crimes. Musk, the world's richest person, Solomon was the richest person too, but in the end, he regretted it all because he became a foolish man with his wealth. He was the richest person of his time, but he did a lot of terrible things as Israel's third king. What people don't want to hear about biblical stuff. What's the fact? He was a third king of Israel. Go to First, Second Chronicles and First, Second Kings, and the wisdom of Solomon. Go to the Book of Maccabees and read about the terrible things that Solomon did as a king. He deliberately disobeyed the God who put him in power. So, but now that Musk is gaining political power as a close ally of President-elect Donald Trump, his demands for criminal charges against critics are much more worrisome, according to scholars and groups devoted to the First Amendment. If Elon Musk is appointed to some position within the administration, he will continue to jawbone pressure others to be punished for their speech. And that raises very serious free speech concerns, said Nadine Stroutson, a past president of the American Civil Liberties Union and professor of law emerita in New York School Law. It's bad enough when people go to work, the boss, the CEO, the COO, they want to stifle you. They want you to bow down to them, worship them. They want you to do whatever they say. Why? Because they signed your paycheck? Y'all got the game mucked up. You don't own people. America tried that experiment. It didn't work too well, did it? No. Trying to own another group of people. In our system, the idea of holding somebody criminally liable for something they say is so antithetical to the concept of free speech, she said in an interview. Musk, the CEO of Tesla and SpaceX and the owner of X, has positioned himself as an intimate advisor of Trump after helping to propel the former president to a remarkable comeback. Musk contributed at least $130 million of his own money, and the megaphone of X, where he is listed as having 204 million followers. So what? That doesn't make you a good man. I know a lot of wealthy people with terrible morals. I know a lot of people, rich people, have no character. They have no integrity. They're perverts. They're pedophiles. They're liars. They're cheaters. They're fornicators. They're adulterers. They lie, cheat, and steal and swindle people out of money. But that doesn't make them a good person. Just because you're wealthy, just because you're rich, just because you have a lot of possessions, that doesn't make you good. Stroutson and other free speech advocates said they're concerned that Musk could use his influence to strike out at all his enemies or make sweeping changes that would help him to do so, such as suggesting personnel for the Justice Department. Trump has already said he wants Musk to advise him on federal spending and efficiency. Musk's actions over the past 3 years call into question his statement commitment to free speech. Aaron Turr, director of the public advocacy at the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression, said in an email he cited X's increasing compliance with foreign governments' demands to censor content on the platform and the lawsuits against the Center for Countering Digital Hate and Media Matters. Any disputes Musk has with his critics should play out in the court of public opinion, not a court of law, Turr said. Musk and representatives at X did not respond to requests for comment. You know, that's the norm with these people. They don't want to talk to people. They just want to talk to people that they think that's on their level. And they all aren't going to get along anyway, so what's the difference? That whole cabinet will implode after a while. According to NBC News, review of Musk's public statements, there's an established pattern of him attacking nonprofit groups, journalists, and others who produce information that he disagrees with or that he may not be helpful to his goals or image, a pattern that runs counter to frequent vows by him that he's a defender of the First Amendment guarantee of free speech. You know, the late Henry Ford, the automotive magnate, who was considered to be a genius of his time, but he was anti-Semitic. Yes, he was. He was anti-Semitic. He published his own newspaper, and he said a lot of terrible things about a lot of people. Just because he was rich, that didn't mean he had morals. An NBC News review of Musk's statements identifies 7 critics whom he has accused of criminal conduct. The 3 examples above, as well as the progressive news site Media Matters lawyers who represent dissident Tesla shareholders, investors who have sold Tesla stock short, and journalists who share details about where his private jet has traveled, which is publicly available information. Musk has also attempted to silence critics through civil lawsuits, suspensions on X, calls for ending donations, and on one call for unspecified general recrimination. I care less about X. The day that he bought it, I closed my Twitter account down. I haven't been over there, will not go over there. There's nothing over there for this black man, nothing. Don't let nobody silence you. Don't let anyone tell you that you don't have free speech. Yes, you do. That is your constitutional right. Of the cases in which Musk pursued legal action, he has not won court judgment against any of those critics or persuaded a prosecutor to bring criminal charges. X has a pending lawsuit against Media Matters and a pending appeal in a lawsuit that X lost against the Center for Countering Digital Hate. Musk and X have sometimes found allies among members of Congress or state attorney general who have lost investigations. All you got to do is bribe these people. You bribe these politicians, they'll do anything you want. They all take bribes. They take bribes in one form or another. Media Matters and Newland declined to comment. A Tesla shareholder lawyer did not respond to a request for comment. Now, some First Amendment scholars say Musk's statements may chill speech further if they carry the weight of an implied threat from an incoming government official. Michael Gerhardt, a law professor at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, said that there's often a large power difference between Musk and his critics, and that the difference is growing. The First Amendment obviously protects both Musk and his critics in making public pronouncements about each other, he said in an email. These rich people don't pay this stuff any mind because they think they're above the law. They think they can say and do whatever they want without impunity. How do you think Hitler got into power? He used the law. Everything that Hitler did in Germany, he did it in accordance with the law, and he changed laws at the same time. Yes, Musk has the bigger bully pulpit by virtue of his wealth and allies, and his relationship with Trump likely will allow him more leverage to drown out it, and if necessary, to use his economic power to wear them down financially and to get Justice Department support in harassing and punishing them, he said. The Justice Department did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Bottom line is this: you don't let nobody take away your freedom of speech. You have the right to have it. Yep. So the feud between Musk and the Center for Countering Digital Hate has continued. A report last month from a conservative news site, Racket News, said it obtained internal CCDH documents that listed the group's annual proprieties as including Kill Musk's Twitter, referring to the app now known as X. Imran Ahmed, CEO of the Center for Countering Digital Hate, said in a phone interview that Musk's accusation of many crimes was baseless. He said that the organization would not be intimidated into silence, and that he has faith in the ability of U.S. courts to protect his group and other critics of Musk. Elon Musk is an incredibly thin-skinned man who's incapable of taking honest criticism, even when based on verifiable facts, and has already weaponized courts to try and punish his perceived enemies, he said. Well, you can look at him and tell he has thin skin. You can look at him and tell it. We live in a country of checks and balances, and we have faith in our judicial system. And and the freedoms afforded to us by the Constitution. Ahmed did not dispute the authenticity of the documents published by Ratchet News, but he said the phrase "kill Musk's Twitter" appeared to be from an individual's meeting notes, not an official policy department. Now, Jim Jordan, one of the MAGA racist Republican from Ohio, also criticized the Center for Countering Digital Hate on Thursday, sending the organization a demand for documents related to the "kill Musk's Twitter" language. You know, America is coming to a place where people are just going to get tired after a while. And I'm going to close by saying this, because I've been checking the comments out as they've been coming. All you people who you think you're so smug, you think you're so smart, you think you're so clever, you think you did the right thing. But you're going to wake up very shortly, and you're going to find your worlds turned upside down because of the choices that you made. Remember that. And when they take away Obamacare and Affordable Care Act are one and the same, you're going to be mad. When they take away those food stamps, you're going to be mad. White people get food stamps. White people on Section 8. White people get Medicare and welfare just like everybody else. And then when they start making all these tough laws and making all these changes, and you're adversely affected, then you're going to say, well, we didn't know. Yes, you did, because he told you what he was going to do. Free speech. The Constitution of the United States. Read it for yourself. Know your rights. Never surrender. Never quit.